Welcome back, Blue Raider Nation. I'm here with Director of Athletics, Chris Massaro, as we end one year of 2025 and we enter a new year as we begin 2026. An exciting year that we are leaving of 2025. Many new things here at Blue Raider Nation for MTSU. One of those being the Stephen and Denise Smith Student Athlete Performance Center that opened up in July, already making a direct impact on our athletic department. But from your perspective, what have you seen so far that has really just created so much more opportunities for our athletes?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing might be, or the biggest hidden benefit is how it's benefited all of our sports and how excited our Olympic sports athletes are, and to be able to use that building, particularly the training room and the weight room. They've just been fantastic. I've asked them at SAC meetings and in private conversations, is there anything we need to be doing better over there for you guys? And they're all really locked in and think it's great. We knew it would have a real big impact on football, and we're hoping it would have that sort of effect on the Olympic sports, and it has. So when we hire a new staff in football and now we're going through a recruiting cycle, I think that's when we'll really start seeing the benefits of that building as well.
Well, now we're moving on to phase two. So we're going to start seeing some changes here at the Murphy Center, where we host our basketball games and many other events here for our athletic department. So can you tell us more about that, or just kind of a glimpse of what is exciting that the community can expect?
Yeah, phase two is really the renovations of the Murphy Center. And, you know, it's a 52-year-old building, so there's a lot of hidden costs that are going to be in it, like we need new pipes, we need new electrical apparatuses and infrastructure. So all that's going to be done, but really just kind of retooling our men's and women's basketball programs and what can we do from a facilities point of view to help them with locker rooms, team meeting spaces, those kind of things. And particularly the men's side is really lagging behind their peers, so we need to do a lot better job there. And then in the infrastructure itself, to develop it so that we can have more shows and events at the Murphy Center and kind of return a little piece of that history of Murphy Center and make it a multi-entertainment complex. And so that's important. And related to that is to fix up those auxiliary gyms so that they are good practice facilities for our men's and women's programs. So when we get bumped off the main floor, they've got a great place to go. And the main thing that I'm asked about really about the Murphy Center, two things really, is from a fan perspective, are the outside steps, you know, and how hard it is to get a proper gate.
We're getting escalators, right?
Yeah, and so that whole area is going to change over by the Hall of Fame in that corner with an entry building, and so that's going to be provide a real look, and it's going to talk to really what the Smith Center is going to be. And so to develop this sort of urban corridor between the two buildings, it's going to change the whole look of the campus. And then the second thing that really people talk about, and I understand it, is the ability to put handrails kind of inside the bowl, particularly for some of our elderly customers. And so if we're able to do that, then we can take the real main complaints and fan experience that we've had there, because we put in new video boards, we put in a new sound system, we put in handrails, and we get rid of some of those steps, then I think we're in really great shape.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, talking about football. You know, we ended this season, we're moving on to the next with some new coaching staff, some also with the transfer portal coming up in beginning of January. What would you tell the community that they need to be encouraged by whenever it comes to this season?
I think first is that we all recognize this was not a very good football season, to say the least. I mean, we were 3-9, and our expectations are better than that. And I think what you're seeing is Coach Mason reacting to that as well. And so with some of the staff changes we've had, and again, that's where I'm encouraged, where the commitment we've made to football and the visible commitment of the Smith Performance Center speaks to that. So when we go and we're recruiting, we're hiring new coaches, that it's easy, it's a visible, tangible item that says, hey, we're serious about football here. And that helps deliver Coach Mason's message as well. So we've got a new offensive coordinator, got a new offensive line coach, and so I'm hoping for big improvements on the offensive side of the ball. And we saw what Roman can do the
Mhm.
last 2-3 weeks of the season, and that was exciting. And to finish the season with 2 straight wins and capture just a little bit of momentum was really helpful. And I think that the other thing, when you really look at our season, that the the players played hard every game,
They did.
and so I think that's an important marker, and I think that's a tribute to Coach Mason and the coaching staff, is that through all those trials and tribulations that they never stopped, and they kept trying to get better, and we saw the results towards the end of the season. So that gives me optimism going forward.
Well, speaking of football as well, I know that you had the opportunity to be on the college football playoffs committee. You
Yeah,
just ended your first year with that. So what was that experience like?
it was really good, and it was an honor, and I've wanted to be on that committee for a long time. And so it lived up to all my expectations. And one of the things that didn't really catch me off guard, but we had to do some last minute shopping, is that you're not allowed to wear your logos or colors inside the committee room. And really, that's my whole wardrobe.
Yeah, mine too.
I don't think you've ever seen me in anything but blue or MTSU stuff. And it's an honor to represent our institution. So I wear it to the grocery store. I wear it on Saturdays. I wear it on Sundays. I wear it inside my house, outside my house. And so Cindy was great through the whole thing. She had to go out and find
Shop
some
for
quarter
you.
zips and some neutral colors. So I got a little bit of greens and beiges and those kind of things working for those 2-3 days in Dallas. So what we had to do was, I guess, beginning in November, is every Sunday I would fly to Dallas, and we would meet Monday, all day Monday, and then half day Tuesday, and fly home Tuesday afternoon. And so that started like the first week of November, went all the way through championship weekend. So whatever that is, 6 or 7 uh, straight weeks where you're doing that. And so it caused a lot of wardrobe because I didn't
Yeah.
want to wear the same thing every time. But B, it was good, and I couldn't do a thing like that without great staff here,
Mhm.
and to not worry about what's happening on Monday and Tuesday here, and can kind of do my committee work. So it was really exhilarating. There's 12 of us that are on the committee, great professionals. There's 3 coaches that are on that committee, and so learning from them, and how analyzing how we all watch games differently. There's
Yeah.
one media member that on the committee, 2 ex-players that are on the committee, and then the rest are ADs. So we all look at it with different prisms
Mhm.
and viewpoints, and that's led to some really interesting discussions. And some of the discussions that you see on TV, the debates, are the same ones we're having in the room.
Yeah.
It's not always a unanimous vote
Mhm.
on how everybody's ranked, but it's really studied, and I think everybody gives their best effort because we know how important it is to every college football fan.
Everybody in the country.
Yeah, it is, and so and at the end you hear from some of the disappointed fans
Mhm.
and those kind of things, and so and I understand that.
Yeah.
So it's because there are good teams get left out
Mhm.
and could possibly win the whole thing, and so that's always, and that kind of weighs on you as well, because you know how hard it is, and how those teams are working hard too,
Mhm.
and how hard it is to put yourselves in that position, and then not to be recognized for that with a playoff bid. I understand that disappointment, but also that's our job,
Yeah.
and so we have to sort through that, and do our best to pick the best teams that we can under our criteria.
Well, now we're moving on to basketball
Uh-huh.
here at MTSU. We're in the midst of the season, getting ready for conference play, but we've already had many marquee matchups here at the Murphy Center, including, Auburn, the Tennessee Lady Vols, that welcomed in 10,000 people here. From your perspective again, and just from what you continue to see with even being here for 20 years now, what is the direct impact that you see for MTSU when we welcome in matches like that?
Yeah, I think that you look back over Coach Ensel's career here, and we've had some of those marquee matchups, and
Mhm.
that's been really great. We had Maryland in here on a full house. We've had Tennessee in here before. We've had LSU. We've had Louisville. We've had Kentucky, and those have been really fun games, and we've generally done well in those games. This game we did really well financially. It was
Hmm.
a big crowd. We didn't necessarily play like we wanted to on the court, but it's good to expose all the people to our basketball. And a lot of people that hadn't been to a game before, we hope they come back and had a good time. And financially, basically, that's one of the best games we've had in 3 or 4 years. So that's always important. And it's been a great series. And I give Tennessee a lot of credit for doing that. We played, it was set up, and Matt Insel helped set it up. When the tournament got announced at Huntsville, we did one game in Huntsville
Hmm.
so we could get a game in December before the tournament. And that really helped us. We ended up winning the tournament that year. Then a game in Knoxville, game in Murfreesboro. Now we owe them a game in Knoxville. So it was a 4-game series. I would like to renew it. I think Matt's had some conversations with them. I hope it's been a good series for them as well.
Yeah.
We were able to beat them in Huntsville. They came in here and handled us pretty easily here in Murfreesboro. We'll see what happens next year at Tennessee.
We still have a lot more basketball left of
Yeah.
this season. What are you most excited about, and what do you think the community should look more forward to as we still and continue to host events here at the Murphy Center this year?
Yeah, and I'm excited. This morning, double checked the Conference USA standings, and we're still on top, 1-0 in the
Yep,
men's basketball.
exactly.
Great win the other night against Kennesaw State. That was a fantastic game, and last year in men's basketball, every game came down to the wire.
Hmm.
Home, home or on the road, and so I expect the same thing. The league's going to be really balanced. On the women's side, what I'm kind of excited about is watching the work of our coaching staff and where we are in November, where we are in December, and how different this team will look in February. And because right now we've got a bunch of new parts trying to figure out their roles, and maybe they've got so much on them that they're thinking about too many things instead of maybe just playing some basketball and those kind of things. But when coach gets them straight, and to watch that team growth, I think that'll be fun for our fans. The ones that are really invested in women's basketball already recognize that. But
Hmm.
to the community, I'd say, come watch this progress, because it's watching a master craftsman at work when you watch Coach Insel coach. And we're lucky to have him. He's not going to coach forever. So
Yeah.
come on out, and this is a 1 year that you can really see his impact. So I'm excited to see that. I think our men have a real chance too,
Hmm.
and they're fun to watch. It's up and down the court. It's exciting basketball. And we've got some really marquee games coming up in our conference. And like I said, every game's going to be close. It's going to be down to the wire. So our fans can make a real difference in those games.
Well, again, with the end of the fall semester, the fall season, we had the cross country team win a conference championship as
Yeah.
well. But then when you look at the academic side of things, you just graduated 21 student athletes, had also some academic awards in there. So how does it feel to see those student athletes walk across that stage and also for the education standpoint really succeed?
Yeah, and that's the most important thing we
Hmm.
do, as you well know. And so to me, we're not providing our full service unless we're trying to graduate our kids. And our coaches have bought into that philosophy. It filters down to our student athletes. Our Todd Wyant and our academic unit does a great job. Dr. McPhee is fully supportive of it. So our athletic success is really our academic success in athletics is really a testimony to university-wide cooperation. And I'm excited about that because that's what we do. And to see those 21 faces, and when they graduate, because that's a tough thing to do, is to be a student athlete, because you've got your athletic responsibilities and you got your academic responsibilities. And man, sometimes those are hard, and they
Hmm.
collide, they intersect. And I tell people, if you want to see how hard it is, just walk with me through the training room one day,
Yeah.
and to see the sacrifices our student athletes make to represent our school. And so that's why I get passionate about selling tickets and asking people to come watch them play, because they're putting their best out there for our community. And so let's come out and help them win and accomplish their dreams. And it was really fulfilling to watch our cross country's men's team win the championship. Keith Roman's done a great job there. They were dominant all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And so you sort of worry about that sometimes. Like, gosh, if they don't win it, it'll kind of flavor how dominant they were all season. But they continued that on at the conference championships and in Huntsville and had a great meet. And so I was so happy for them.
Well, we're officially entering 2026. Insane to me that we're already at 2026. But with that, we are also hosting CUSA Outdoor Track and Field Championships and the men's and women's tennis championships here at MTSU, which is so exciting. So what would you tell the community as well to make sure that they're coming out and really just embracing Blue Raider Nation?
Yeah, and I think when you start talking about economic impacts and some of the hidden things that we have, I point to track. Okay, so there's 11 conference members, and everybody's got a men's and women's track program. They're here for 4 or 5 days, and if you've got 30 on each side, that's 60 times 11 times 4 or 5 hotel nights.
Can't do the math. That's a lot.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot coming into town, and that's a lot of restaurant meals, and that's a lot of economic impact just on one weekend. So come on out. And I'm telling you, like, when you watch track, it's like, I can't believe I'm still part of the same human race as these guys.
Yeah.
Because they run and their strides are so beautiful, and it's like pillows on their feet. I mean, they hardly ever touch the ground. And to me, it's just remarkable. And it's a beautiful thing to watch a really great track athlete run, you know. And so come on out to the finals. I guarantee you'll be entertained. And then the tennis piece of that, we've got men's and women's tennis. We've got a great facility to host that. Men have been particularly dominant. So we're seeking, what is it, our 6th straight? Seventh straight. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jimmy, 7th straight. And I mean, it's good when you kind of lose count.
Yeah.
Because that means that's a lot.
It is.
And so 7 straight for men's tennis. Help them get pushed over the top again. We'll have some tough matches in there. And then the women, and let's get them into the finals and those kind of things to see how we can do. But the spectator area, the infrastructure we have for tennis over there, it's a great place to watch a match on a spring afternoon. So come on out and help support our men and women. You'll have a lot of fun. We'll have food trucks out there, and it'll be a nice party type atmosphere. So it's a lot of fun to host those events.
Last question for you. What are you most looking forward to in the year of 2026?
That's a really good question. I wasn't sort of expecting that one.
Guard.
Yeah, caught me a little bit like a little curveball there. Watching our student athletes, like I go to every home game that I'm in town for. And I just feel like that's my obligation. If they're giving their best, then that's the least I can do is go out and show my visible support by watching them compete. So I love being at the games. And I know that sounds a little bit trite and maybe a cookie cutter answer, but I just love watching them compete. And so that's what I'm looking forward to, sitting in the sunshine in nice warm weather.
Warm weather, please.
And watching our guys compete and not only compete but win. And that's especially gratifying. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think it'll be great. Job wise, 26 is going to be a big year because we'll have more firm plans on the Murphy Center, and that stuff will start to crystallize. So when I look ahead and think about what my time, how it's going to be spent, and that's going to be a monster piece of it. And that's a project where we got one shot to do it right. And so that's a heavy responsibility. And there's a bunch of us that are working on it, and we realize the gravity of that moment.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris Massaro, for joining us. It's been great as we look to new beginnings and as we close this chapter of 2025. It's been great. And as always, let's go Blue.
Thanks.